14th, October, 1972.
Got beat up by old lady last night, wielding Hello Kitty umbrella. Need to start working out more, or buy scarier mask.
Okay, you caught me. It's Mike from GameSnafu.com, busting on poor Rorschach here. I will be hosting the video review of Watchmen, The End Is Nigh. Well, I have to admit I was somewhat caught up in the hype of this movie and wanted to get a little taste of it beforehand, so I spent $20 on the prequel game, thinking I could get a little forestory before the movie. The game is supposed to take place years before the movie, back when Night Owl and Rorschach were partners and beating the tar out of bad guys on a nightly basis. Well, I was wrong. Dead wrong. Watchmen The End Is Nigh, while looking fantastic graphically, seems to be lacking anything Watchmen in it other than Night Owl and Rorschach, that is. But frankly, you could have replaced both characters with two Girl Scouts wielding pillowcases full of cookies, and it would feel like the same game. Watchmen The End Is Nigh is an extremely standard beat-em-up game with button mash controls. Left click is for light attack, right click is for heavy attack. Middle mouse button is to grab and throw the enemies, and spacebar is to dodge. They tried, I say tried, to make this a Watchmen game by adding a whole bunch of blood and made the mobs swear like drunken sailors, but that does not make the game feel like a Watchmen game at all. I was expecting more storytelling and more dialogue, and probably would have enjoyed it much more if they even added 25% more of this. Both characters have some special abilities. Rorschach has his charge, and of course his nerd rage, which can be activated when the rage bar is filled. As for Night Owl, he has a grenade, which stuns all the enemies around him, and a handy knockback ability which he can use by electrifying his suit when the charge bar is filled. Out of the two, I would suggest using Night Owl if you were going to try and make it through this entire game. However, once you reach Chapter 3, it is an entirely different ballgame. There are twice as many mobs, they're twice as hard to kill, and most of them are wielding weapons. You too can actually use weapons that you take from the mobs, but they disappear for some strange reason. I mean, you're beating a guy in the head with a tire iron, and all of a sudden, poof, it's gone. Did it break? Are those heroes Butterfingers? No explanation, nothing, just gone. A little flash message across the screen like, "You dropped your weapon, dipshit," would have been nice. So yeah, you have some neat finishing moves, some of which look cool. Some just look like you tripped and accidentally killed the guy. But after you get your head caved in by like the 500th generic biker, the game turns into a stinking pile that you're glad you didn't pay over $20 for. I really wanted to get a little further into the game to get some better footage for the review, but I just did not have the patience for it. As for the gameplay, well, you can play as either character and go around collecting some tokens which open up different combos and more damage for your attacks. But just like any other superhero game I have ever played, as you progress, you feel as though you get weaker, not stronger, as the game goes on. Hell, by Chapter 3 I was getting my head caved in like a circus monkey and having to start from the last checkpoint so many times I just couldn't stand it anymore and stopped playing. You know they beat them monkeys. What's that, you say? They don't beat them circus monkeys? They teach them to ride those tricycles by being nice to them and giving them a banana every time they do it right? Friend, you're delusional. You do not teach a monkey to ride a tricycle by being nice to him and giving him bananas. You would either run out of bananas or wind up with a fat monkey. The way you teach a monkey to ride a tricycle is to beat the ever-loving shit out of him every time he does it wrong. I mean, yeah, maybe he'll come out on stage and ride the thing around all rope-a-dope, and people will go, "Ah," and then you can give him a banana. But if you beat that monkey into riding that bike, he's going to come out on stage and be the damn Lance Armstrong of tricycle-riding monkeys, and people will freaking cheer like they're at the damn Super Bowl. It's a fact. Live with it. PETA does. Okay, that had nothing to do with the game, but at least you know two things now. One, how I feel about this horrendous game, and two, how I feel about the ritualistic daily beating of circus monkeys. And that wraps up the video review of Watchmen, The End Is Nigh. I hope you enjoyed the review as much as I did doing it, and Do yourself a favor. Don't waste your money on this game. Like you did the movie.